Hey there everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Apuborama, and in today's video, I'll be breaking into 10 facts that'll help all players in Grand Theft Auto Online. Some of them are geared towards newer players, some of them are just facts in general, and tips that will help you out a lot, especially in survivability. But, as always, if you enjoy this type of content, and whether you knew it or not, please do consider smashing that subscribe button down below, as it obviously helps out the channel a lot. So, let's get into tip number 1. This is definitely going to help out new players, which is the Duke O' Death. There are a lot of old videos out there on YouTube talking about the Duke O' Death, and the fact that, oh, you only get it for free if you have a next generation console, or you made an account merge with an old Rockstar account. However, that is actually not the case. You can get your hands on the Duke O' Death for free, whether you have a new account, whether you have an old account. All you need to do is go onto your phone, scroll over to Warstock Cash and Carry, and sort by price. And as we can see, the Duke O' Death is absolutely free. And this is one of the most underrated armored vehicles in the game. First of all, it can survive upwards of 4 to 6 homing missiles, depending on how much damage it's already taken. Not only that, but this vehicle is fast, it's decently maneuverable, and because it's very heavy, as you're going to notice, you can just absolutely smash cars out of your way. Overall, the Duke O' Death is an amazing beginner vehicle, and the fact that you can get your hands on it for free is just amazing. I would say it's definitely better than the Armored Kuruma, just because of the fact you can get it for free. So yeah, get your hands on the Duke O' Death. Keeping in line with newer player tips, we have upgrading your vehicles. This is something I've talked about a lot on the channel, but it's something I always remember to remind people because it is so important. If you are under level 100, make sure you get your hands on an auto shop very early. In fact, I believe the auto shop should be one of the first purchases you make in the game. First of all, it's a good business in general for making a lot of money. It has snacks right at the bottom, which allows you to obviously refill all of your health. Not only that, but upstairs you have a decent way of making money, especially if you know how to use a Union depository job. You can just keep doing it over and over by calling Sesenta, canceling the job if you don't have it on the job board until you do get the Union Depot job. But the most important thing about the auto shop is the fact that if you are under level 100, you can upgrade any car fully. Normally, if you're under level 100, you can't get the engine tunes, turbo, certain paint jobs. Well, if you own an auto shop, everything is immediately unlocked. Not only that, but all purchases are also 5% cheaper, making the auto shop just one of the best things in the game for beginners and experienced players if you want a discount. So make sure you pick up the auto shop. Next one is a very simple tip, but it is one that will save you a lot of time. And if you didn't know this, well, now you do. You can call Mutt on the phone and request supplies. So as you can see, I can either source supplies or buy supplies. Now, as always, I do not recommend to source supplies. It is a waste of time. Simply purchasing supplies will get the job done. But yes, you can call Mutt on the phone, and it saves so much time just to be able to have him get you the supplies, rather than calling out your acid lab, especially if you already have something like your Kosatka spawned in. Just way easier. Call Mutt on the phone, have him get you the supplies, and once it says you're not allowed to call them anymore, you can just go sell with your acid lab, which is obviously very, very easy to do. Our fourth tip brings us over to the arcade. The major reason why is because we are going to be sourcing products for our businesses, and this can be a little bit risky. When you become a motorcycle club president, if you have any running businesses, there is a chance that LJT is going to call you on the phone and say, hey, you're getting raided. Go over there and stop it, or you lose all of your money and product. You don't want that to happen. So what you want to do is, when you are inside of your arcade or inside of your motorcycle club business, if you don't have an arcade, go register as a boss. Then very quickly hop on the computer or sit down on the seat if you're inside of the arcade and get onto the screen. Then what you want to do is go to all of your motorcycle club businesses very quickly and resupply every single one. So as we can see, I've purchased supplies for my Coke lockup. Now we're going to make our way over to the math lab, and we're going to resupply over here. Boom, buy supplies. Then we are going to make our way, well, we already have all the weed, but you get the point. We're going to buy supplies for all the businesses. Then, as soon as you've done that, get off the computer and pull out your interaction menu, scroll until you see disband, and boom, you're done. Once you have disbanded from a motorcycle club, it is impossible to get raided. Then all you need to do is register as a CEO or whatever. It's just impossible to get raided once you've disbanded from a motorcycle club business. So this will save you a lot of effort of dealing with raids. Even if you do purchase the security upgrade, it is still very common to deal with raids, which is very, very annoying. Keeping in line with motorcycle club businesses, we arrive to easy sale missions. I always tell people to try and sell in public lobbies because you're going to be able to earn a lot of money. And people are always worried that the product is going to be blown up. So I'm going to show you how easily you can sell your product in a public lobby when it comes to motorcycle club businesses. Let me just make my way over to the boats. You know what I just realized? You cannot blow up motorcycle products until you actually enter the seat and it starts the mission. So if we enter it, and then we exit, as we can see now, we have this whole thing done. So now, ideally, if we hop back outside of the boat and we start shooting at it, yes, there you go, it does blow up. I thought it was 3 explosions. So you'll notice that the boat's gone. Like, if somebody were to blow up that boat, and then let's say somebody also blew up this boat, right? So these boats are just completely destroyed. Now, normally you'd be like, oh crap, let me sell this last vehicle so I can at least salvage the last sale mission. Don't do that. Simply go to online, find a new session, and invite only. Doing this is going to restore 95% of the product you had. It's way, way safer. And this is why I say selling in a public lobby really isn't that big of a deal, because you're not going to lose really any of the product you're selling. We can see we are making our way back inside of the motorcycle weed lockup, and look at that. We have barely lost any of our product. And all I did was load into a new lobby. You can even see it says my Kosatka, because that's what I spawned inside of. So yeah, if you plan on selling in public lobbies, which I recommend to do, it's for certain businesses. Motorcycle clubs, yeah, they're a little bit sussler, but I would recommend for your bunker, for your nightclub, and for the acid lab to sell in public lobbies. And when you're doing that, if somebody tries to blow up your product, simply just load into a new lobby. It's going to save a lot of time. Now, obviously, with single vehicle sale missions, if you get the truck for the motorcycle club businesses, or obviously the acid lab and the nightclub are single sale missions. So in that situation, if somebody's shooting at you and you think they're going to blow you up, just leave the lobby before they do, and 90% of your product's going to be returned. Either way, you're not really losing much, and hopefully this should help you out. This is one that a lot of YouTubers, in my opinion, don't talk about enough, and that is the flare gun. As we can see, pulling out the flare gun, I can launch a bunch of flares into the air. And you might say, okay, what is that doing? Well, what people don't realize is that the flare gun has the exact same flares as the missile deterring flares that planes have. So let's say that there's somebody in an Oppressor Mark II or any sort of homing missile aircraft or vehicle, and they are shooting missiles at you. Well, if you simply shoot flares into the air while they are chasing you like this, the missiles will guide after the flares and not after you, which is absolutely massive and will obviously get you out of a very tough situation. In fact, I've seen videos out there where people will launch a flare at the person who shot a missile at them, and the missile will boomerang back and kill that person, which is honestly pretty hilarious. But yeah, flares are really, really easy to use, and if you actually have somebody else in the car, you can shoot them faster than any vehicle can even shoot missiles. So because of that, I always recommend that people restock their flare guns. And by the way, it's very easy to restock your flare gun. All you need to do is go to Health and Ammo and restore. And by the way, this brings us to the next tip, which is restoring your ammunition. A lot of people don't realize this, but you can just go right into your interaction menu, go to Health and Ammo, go to Ammo, and just press All, and it will restore all of the ammo that you own, or don't own is what I should say. So as you can see, my flare gun is now fully restored. This will be the case for any weapon that you own apart from Mark II weaponry. So as you're going to notice, if I get out of my car very quickly and I pull out my, heavy sniper Mark II or my explosive shotgun, these are not fully restored. It's a little annoying. You have to make your way actually over to a Mark II weapon station to purchase ammo for them, but at least it does restore all of your other ammo, like the railgun. This next trick is one that a lot of older players know, but a lot of newer and even couple-year-old players probably won't know all too much of because it's not as necessary nowadays. But I still think that this is something that can help you, especially if you are in a bit of a pickle, and that is calling Merryweather for a helicopter pickup. we can see on the phone with Merryweather, there's a couple different options. And for $1,000, I can request a helicopter pickup. All you need to do is make sure you're standing in a bit of an open area where no cars are driving or something is going to get in the way. And as we look above us, there's a helicopter. Takes only, a couple seconds for the helicopter to get here. And if you're a new player and you don't have access to a helicopter or any sort of flying vehicle at that, this is an incredibly easy way to save a lot of time. So we're just going to step out of the way of this helicopter. It's going to land here very, very briefly. It's pretty high up still, but we can see the helicopter's coming in pretty fast. And once it gets pretty close to the ground, all you're going to do is pull out your gun and boop, there you go. Helicopter is landed. And we just hop inside the helicopter, and there you go. Now we have our own helicopter. Now, obviously, it will despawn if you're looking away, but it is still very easy. What'd that take? 30 seconds, and we got our own helicopter. And if you're stranded anywhere, I mean, you can be on Mount Chiliad. As long as you're on a flat area where the helicopter can land, you just bop the person in the face, and it comes right on down. So I can tell you that this is a huge, huge tip for people that definitely do not have ease of access to transportation. This next tip is a very easy one, and a lot of people already know it, but I like to explain to people why it is still so important to use, because a lot of people don't realize how effective the fast traveling of the Kosatka is. Right now, we are all the way in, like Paleto Bay. We're all the way on the other side of the map. And let's say we want to make it to Vespucci Beach, or maybe somewhere near the airport. Well, all I need to do is sit in the seat of my Kosatka, and boom! Now I've set my location to Vespucci Beach. We are going to now fast travel. It would normally take a very long time to traverse the map. I would have to wait for whatever vehicle to spawn, and then I would obviously have to go from wherever I am to the other side of the map. It's probably going to take a good 3 to 5 minutes. Even if you're in a fast vehicle, it's usually 5 minutes. So because of that, it's way faster just to get out a Kosatka, especially because you probably already have it spawned in. A lot of people don't realize that all you need to do, let's say you're somewhere where your Kosatka isn't, like, let's say you're in Paleto Bay and your Kosatka isn't near you. Well, that's no problem. If you simply scroll until you find service vehicles and Kosatka, just request it. And then go back over to service vehicles, and if you own a Sparrow, which I would highly recommend you do, you can simply call in the Sparrow wherever you are. And then, as we can see, the Kosatka has spawned in right next to me. So it doesn't matter where you are, you can always request your Kosatka, and you just fly your Sparrow into it. And then boom, now you have a super easy means of transportation. This is by far the easiest way to traverse across the map, and I would highly recommend to do it. And that brings us to the final and 10th tip for today's video, one that will help a lot of players, and that is fast traveling. Sorry, my game froze there for a second. I was clicked off of game. And that brings us to the final and 10th tip for today's video, which is fast traveling. This is by far one of the most important tools to use in the game. Fast traveling, as of now on PC, only works when you're not doing a job. But let's say I want to make my way from where I currently am to my office building, because I want to start up a mission. I want to start up special cargo sourcing. Well, I scroll until I find preferences. And then once I find preferences, I change my spawn location to wherever I want to go. So I want to go to my office building, I set it to Maze Bank West. I go to find new session, I tap invite only, and now the game is going to zoom into the clouds. And about 5 seconds later, it's going to make our way over to our office building. And there you go. We're at our office building. Boom. That took, what, 30 seconds? We've traversed across the entire map. If you have a mission ongoing, it's going to cancel the mission and load you into a new lobby. But if you are simply trying to go from point A to point B to maybe start up a heist or start some crate sourcing, this is by far the easiest way to travel across the map. Oh, look guys, I've just finished doing a special cargo source. And now, I want to make my way over to the Kosatka so I can start up the Cayo Perico heist because the cooldown has just finished. Well, no problem. I'm just going to scroll until I find my Cayo Perico heist, or sorry, I mean my Kosatka, and boom. Now the game is going to teleport me inside of my Kosatka. Let's say that I want to restock my businesses inside of the arcade. Well, no problem. All you want to do is pull out your interaction menu and wait until you find preferences and go over to your arcade. You can see how this is very useful and saves literally minutes of traveling. If you do this daily, you're easily going to save hours upon hours of time. As always, hopefully enjoyed today's video, and if you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. Hopefully these tips not only help beginners, but experienced players alike. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.